I remember way back when the song Mr. Brightside completely dominated the radio and was played at every party and event, from big festivals to your cousin's wedding. This song wasn't the only hit from Killers, however, and throughout the years, the band has always brought out albums that really astounded their fans. In 2020, the Killers released their 6th studio album called Imploding The Mirage. Does this album hold up to the rest of the Killers' discography, or is it time for the band to hang up their instruments? Let's find out. The Killers are a rock band who formed in 2001 in Las Vegas, Nevada. As of 21 August 2020, have released 6 studio albums, all of which somehow always reach the top of the charts. The band's debut album, Hot Fuzz, was a massive hit and included songs like Mr. Brightside, All of These Things That I've Done, and Somebody Told Me. Not only was Hot Fuzz a massive hit, but all 3 of these aforementioned hits also received Grammy nominations, and the album topped the charts around the world and in the UK especially, where it stayed on the UK album charts for a record-breaking 173 weeks. Hot Fuzz might have been the band's big breakthrough album, but all of their albums from their sophomore album Sam's Town to Day and Age, Battleborn, and 2017's Wonderful Wonderful were all exceptional records and really reflect on the band's marvelous talents, and especially frontman Brandon Flowers' exceptional voice and phenomenal songwriting. I still recall myself driving alone in my car and blasting Wonderful Wonderful while singing the song The Man as loud as I could. The album Wonderful Wonderful saw the Killers experiment with different styles, different genres and techniques, and used a plethora of synth sounds and 80s pop vibes, sprinkled in between the classic Killers flair, with an extremely solid production throughout the entire album. 2020 brought a year of uncertainty, and the excitement of new music was kind of swept under the rug, but Imploding the Mirage it gave music lovers new hope and something to look forward to, and realizing that it doesn't matter what we're going through, that there's always new music to look forward to. In a more general sense, Imploding the Mirage has a lot to offer, not only for new listeners, but it also restates some of the old tones and themes of old Killers that longtime fans would appreciate. Where 2017's Wonderful Wonderful felt more like a shoulder to cry on and focused on the narrative of others and their pasts, Imploding the Mirage feels like a slow rise to power, a fist in the air about to break free. The album carrier for Imploding the Mirage is without a doubt the first single, Caution. This is an almost perfect tune that gets stuck in your head and has a great catchy hook and gets you singing it at the top of your lungs in the shower or on the way to work. The track also gets an added nuance thanks to guest guitarist Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac, who delivered an impressive solo and was a warm welcome and really a great choice for the song. Not only is this album filled with great guitar riffs, accompanied by groovy bass lines and warm percussions, but the band's secret love for synths also resurfaced throughout the album, and honestly, it blends in and fuses well with the classic Killers sound and vibe, and every instrument just fits in perfectly. Most songs off of this album start off slow and build towards a massive climax, finally breaking through the ceiling, and this is what we've come to expect from the Killers. Accompanying these build-ups are swarms of instrumentals that, together with Brandon Flowers' passionate and dramatic vocals, really pack a punch. The album opens with the track My Own Soul's Warning, which is a great song about lessons learned and possibly written out of a place where Flowers reflected on his early years of indulgence and things that he might have regretted. The song has an extremely atmospheric sound, and this is partly due to the band The War on Drugs' producer Sean Everett. Flowers has also confessed his admiration towards Bruce Springsteen, and the boss's influence is very apparent, especially on songs like My Own Soul's Warning, Blowback, and especially on the track Dying Breed. So if music like Springsteen is your thing, then there's definitely something for you in these songs. Dying Breed is a slow burner that erupts into a gigantic Springsteen-like chorus filled with explosions, a synth line, and some punchy drums. The feel of Dying Breed feels like running through the streets, your fist in the air, screaming at the world, cursing anyone who ever undermined you. The tracks Lightning Fields and Fire and Bone both dabble in the emotional, where Lightning Fields focuses on Flowers' parents' relationship, or might be about his own relationship with his wife, and Fire and Bone relies on the emotions someone who is wrongly accused, stuck in a destructive relationship might feel. Lightning Fields also made way for an appearance by Canadian singer Katie Lang, taking over the vocals in the bridge before building up into a massive final chorus set. The song really tugs at the heartstrings and feels like a track that you can sing to as an anthem for those troubled few. Fire and Bone feels like a track that doesn't have as much to offer as some of the other songs of Imploding the Mirage, and kind of almost sounds like it could have been a song off of Wonderful Wonderful. Something that really stood out in the song was the funky bass line throughout, and this really helped to lift up the song. Running Towards a Place feels like a song that might easily get overlooked, as it might not be as punchy and as catchy as some of the other songs off of this album, but it doesn't find its strength from catchy, but rather from Brandon Flowers' emotional vocals and breathtaking lyrics. Even in the first verse, the song's lyrics really hit hard and are relatable to anyone who has their own problems and who has people that they love who wish they can actually carry their burden. Subtle bowel sounds and synths again get introduced on the track My God, and the collaboration with Waze Blood or Natalie Merring was a surprising well thought out partnership that worked very well. I wouldn't say that what Merring brings to the table, especially in the bridge where her vocals almost take charge and kind of distract you from the fact that this is a Killer's song, is for everyone, but I'm sure that there are a few who would find this a warm welcome. The track Where the Dreams Run Dry doesn't really surprise the listener with a breath of fresh air, as it feels like it's the same formula that has been used throughout the songs earlier in the album, but with less impact, and this doesn't really bring something exciting to the track list. I might be wrong about the song, but for now, I feel like I'm still waiting for a revelation to come forth hidden deep within the marrow of this track. The closing and title track Imploding the Mirage firstly sounds like it could have been written for an 80s rom-com movie where two teens are falling in love, and wouldn't feel out of place on the soundtrack of a movie like Grease or the credit song in a similar movie. Essentially, this track is a feel-good tune about falling in love in the Nevada desert. The song might also come off as a tad bit cheesy at times, but it also depends on your own personal taste. But it was a good overall song for an ending track. My personal take on Imploding the Mirage as an album is that if you are a Killers fan, that this album will take you further than you would expect, and it really holds its own amidst the other Killers albums. Personally, this might even be one of my top 3 Killers albums, competing with Wonderful Wonderful for second place and coming just after Hot Fuzz. Imploding the Mirage is a great introduction towards the Killers as a whole, and anyone who listens to this album for the first time will understand what the Killers hype is all about and why it is essential to have a couple of Killers tunes on a permanent playlist on your person at all times. This album deserves any and all praise that is bound to come its way, and in my personal opinion it scores a solid 8.5 out of 10, and it gets me hyped for any future albums by the Killers. Okay, cool. That pretty much wraps up my review for Imploding the Mirage by the Killers. If you agreed with this review and if you liked this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. And if there's anything I missed or if there's something you want to enlighten me about, please let me know in the comments and I'll check you guys next time. Cheers.